Cheyenne Adamson, owner and operator of YesPhonics, and you are at the YesPhonics YouTube channel, where homeschoolers, teachers, and educators everywhere come for valuable teaching information and insights. So today's topic is going to be the homeschool challenge, what every homeschooler almost everywhere at some point has faced, and that is teaching what you don't know. So you're a dynamic homeschooler, you're dedicated, you're doing all the right things, making lesson plans, taking your children on field trips, going to soccer practice, giving them social interaction, getting the support you need, and creating, most importantly, creating a homeschool environment in which they can thrive. But now comes the big challenge. It's time to teach them something that you don't know. So the number one tip, take a field trip to the local library. So my good friend that I mentioned back in the previous video, Pam Fink, she's been a successful tutor and teacher for over 20 years now. And she says most children's books give great overviews on many topics, from science to history, exploration, and invention, to the latest and greatest technologies. So number two on our tips and tricks lesson for learning something that you don't already know is to start at the end and establish a clear objective. What I mean by this, as a homeschool parent, you really should be clear about what you want to accomplish from the beginning. What is my goal? What do I want for my students? What do I want for my children to learn? What do I want them to learn? From the objectives spring forth activities and ideas. Let's talk about teaching today from the McGraw-Hill Education Literacy and Humanities Center. They also recommend developing clear, measurable outcomes at the beginning. They go on to say, daily lessons that work are based on clear, objective statements, they report. So when you identify and clearly convey your expectations, your students can then focus on mastering their objective, which is very important. Your objective will also be your true north, as they call it, throughout the lesson, and it will help you and your students, or your children, as the case may be, stay on course and focused with attention. So number three on the tips and tricks list, rally your resources. Now this is the fun part, okay? So now that you understand your topic and have established a clear objective for the lesson, go ahead and brain hurricane a variety of activities that will help you and your students reach the goal. So children, they learn in a variety of ways, which I'm sure as a homeschool parent or as a teacher you know very well. So look at the resources that address the topic in board games. Look at documentaries, look at film, theater, performing arts, video, photography, and storybooks. So here's our fourth. This is our fourth tip on how to learn different things on stuff that you don't know how to teach. Call in the experts. It might sound simplistic, but depending on the topic, you can often find local experts to add knowledge, perspective, and real-life experiences to your lesson. Scientists, farmers, economists, and business professionals, they have the ability to engage your students and excite them about learning. So look at your topic with a 360-degree view and encourage your children or your students to experience their learning in a broader context. So number five on our tips and tricks list. So when presenting materials new to you, your student, they may eclipse you on your knowledge as the lesson progresses, and don't feel daunted by that. That happens from time to time. It's really great fun to learn together with you and your child or your student, and you're both best served, teacher and student, to follow time-tested guidelines. Actually, John Milton Gregory's seminal work, The 7 Laws of Teaching, addresses the relationship between you, your knowledge, and that of your students. And he goes on to say, 1. A teacher must be the one who knows the lesson or truth to be taught. 2. A learner is one who attends with interest to the lesson given. So interest must be generated and all attention is necessary. 3. The language used as a medium between teacher and learner must be common to both, so that way the students clearly understand. Number 4. The lesson to be learned must be explicable in the terms of truth already known by the learner. In other words, the unknown must be explained by the known. And number 5, teaching is arousing the pupil's mind to form in it a desired conception or thought. So learning is thinking into one's own understanding a new idea or truth. Allow the student to kind of figure it out for himself and guide him or her along that route until they come to the conclusion themselves. And perhaps they'll discover being ahead of the teacher in some ways during the lesson. And that will give them the ultimate joy when they've come to that conclusion themselves, and then they figure out, wow, like I may have just impressed my teacher. That's really fantastic for a student. And number 6, so learning is thinking into one's own understanding a new idea or truth. Students who learn this lesson so well that he or she is able to put it into his or her own words and understanding. And number 7, the test and proof of teaching done. With this is like finishing and fastening process. It must be a reviewing, a rethinking, a reknowing, and reproducing of the knowledge taught. The last law, but not the least, by all means. Review, review, review is what it's all about. As my good friend Pam Fink, she would say, review, review, review. You can never get enough review. So in conclusion, as a homeschool parent, it's definitely up to you to generate enthusiasm for the topic and lesson, which is really exciting because you're in total control. You can plan it, you can execute it. Remember, you're not alone. There's tons of networks of other homeschool families and other resources outside of that. And you can explore the many opportunities that exist all around us in the modern world. And that's it for today's topic. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give us a like, a comment, or subscribe to the channel. We'll be producing more content just like this. If you feel like I missed something, or I would love to start a discussion, like leave a comment, and I'd love to talk to you. But as always, my fellow educators, be well.